Hi, my name is Taro Ariga, and today I'll be talking about small men. First of all, you focus, make sure that your body is in the straight position. Hold your Shinai, right hand from the bottom, left hand from the top. Relax your shoulders, open your chest, and then put your weight on the left foot. From the left foot, left hip, left hand, and the tip of the Shinai has to be flowing in one energy. Then from here, what are you gonna do? To strike the small man, imagine yourself bringing the Shinai up just like you're gonna strike the big man. But you don't bring the Shinai, okay? Imagine going up and then throwing your body, and then at the last minute, when the right foot's gonna reach the floor, use your wrist to strike. You have to think this way. Your right hand is in this position right here, and your final position is here. So you're actually moving your right hand from here. And during the time, you're using this motion to strike. So basically what you're doing is you're doing this motion as you bring your hand to the final position. So your right hand is going from here to the final point here, and during the time, the Shinai is gonna make this motion. This is where your left hand should be. So you're striking like this. So that means you have to bring your left hand from this position forward. Okay, forward, and then use your pinky. You go forward and use your pinky to strike and drop the Shinai. So I'm gonna show you again one more time. So your left foot, left hip, left hand, it's gonna work all together, and then your body, your left hip is gonna push your left hand forward. And then, as I said in my previous videos, you do the fumikomi from your right knee. And then just before your right foot reach the floor, that's when you give another push with the left foot. Now, one thing you can also think is that using the tip of the Shinai, you're lifting the opponent's nose, meaning if you think that way, you're not gonna bring your Shinai up and strike like this. You're gonna try to keep the Shinai down and bring the Shinai up when your body is already close to the opponent. When you're here, then you can use a wrist and strike. Also, don't use our elbow to strike, like this kind of motion. Or don't bring your right hand up and then hitting with your left wrist. A lot of people do this kind of motion. You're actually just tapping the top of the head. You're not actually cutting the opponent. Even though you're doing a small man, you still have to cut the opponent all the way to the opponent's throat. Okay, I'm gonna do a strike of the man. You start from the Isoku Ito no Mai. Isoku Ito no Mai is basically a distance where you strike the man here and then take one big step back. This is about your Isoku Ito no Mai. Isoku Ito no Mai is the distance that you can reach the opponent in one step. So from here, without moving your feet, okay, put your weight on the left foot, left foot, left hip, left wrist, and strike the man. Yup! Bam! One more time. Yup! Bam! Okay, so one way of practicing the distance that you can do the fumikomi, you can put the Shinai on the floor and then place your right foot where your left hand will be on the Shinai, and then from here just do the fumikomi. You have to go at least the length of your Shinai to be able to reach the opponent's man. But as I said before, from here, just before your right foot lands on the floor, you gotta give one more push with your left foot. That way, you're gonna be able to go through faster with a nice zanshin. I tell my students to strike the Shinai and the Fumikomi together. And that's what I'm sure most of the people do that. They teach that way. However, when you look at the videos or look at the photos of the players striking in nice man, you see that their feet are still on the air. You know, a lot of people ask me why they're doing that. So I'm gonna try to explain about that today.
So let's take a look at this example. If we freeze this moment, you see that my right foot has not hit the floor yet. That's because the strike doesn't end at the top of the opponent's head. The strike ends at the opponent's throat. If you have the intention to truly cut through the center, passing from the top of the head down to the throat, then the foot should still be in the air as the Shinai hits the man. That is why in the still image, you see it this way.